Welcome to Making Rounds on Planet Vero Radio and TV. And here's your host, Jennifer Toby and Treasure Coast Compassionate Care.
Hi, clearly I am not Jennifer Toby. Rich Roselle here, in place of Jennifer Toby. Welcome to Making Rounds. Jennifer texted me maybe a couple hours ago and asked if I could fill in. That means that she's out doing something nice for somebody else, because that's what Jennifer does. She does good things for other people. And since I can't do the good things for the people she's doing it for, I figure, okay, I could fill in for her so she can go out and do good things. So I'm here. And luckily for you, I was able to find two victims to sit in on this radio show. So this way you don't have to endure my sock puppets. We're going to talk a little bit about substance abuse and substance awareness and treatment and good things like that. So I have two guests here with me today versus Michelle Bulldozer from the SAFER Coalition. And I remember what SAFER stands for, Substance Abuse Free Indian River.
Very good.
Coalition.
Good. Yes.
Right? And we have Erin Lawler Patterson, who is a former substance abuse counselor from up in New Jersey, has a podcast called Goodness Chick.
That's right.
Which I got wrong the first time I tried it,
All right.
but I got it right this time. That's all that matters. And you would never have known I got it wrong if I didn't just give myself up. So she's got a podcast. She's also got a book, and she's very experienced in the substance abuse and substance awareness realm as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about those things today. Let's start with Michelle. Michelle from SAFER.
Yes.
I met Michelle at an event in Wabasso, I believe.
Yes.
Several months ago, and when going to these events, some of the best things you get out of these events are the networking that you do. And Michelle remembered the talk that I gave, and I remember the talk that she gave. And then a couple months later, she asked me to assist her with a hidden in plain sight event, which is basically we set up a bedroom, which we might talk about later on. And it basically looks like an adolescent's bedroom. And we told parents what to look for in the child's bedroom so that they could be more aware and alert what's going on in their children's lives. And so the networking relationship continues. I needed someone to help spread the word about substance abuse, and Michelle is here, and she's got a couple of events that she'd like to tell us about. So why don't you take it, Michelle?
Well, thank you, Rich. So as Rich said, my name is Michelle Bulldozer, and I'm the director of the SAFER Coalition, Substance Abuse Free Indian River. So we are a coalition to reduce substance abuse among youth in the county. So we work with many sectors in the community. We have law enforcement, school personnel, youth, parents, treatment agencies, other agencies in the community, that has the same mission as we do against substance use. And we hold community forums, education, awareness. Spreading the word to parents is mostly what we try to get out. We also just created a youth coalition. So we have about 20 youth from Vero Beach and Sebastian where we meet, and they're going to be our advocates for change. They're our voice in our community. So when people hear from the youth, it makes a difference. So they're going to be doing our work, which is a wonderful addition to our coalition. But we have several events coming up for parents, for adults, for educators. So our first one is October 22nd. It's called Marijuana, a closer look at the issues facing society today. Now, part of our coalition is we look at the priorities in the county that need to be addressed. And everything we work on is around data. So the data supports that underage drinking, marijuana use, and vaping is a big priority. And we also work with on prescription drug misuse. So our first event is marijuana. Like I said, it's going to be all day, October 22nd at Indian River State College, the Mueller campus. It is an all-day training from 8 to 4:30. We're going to have breakfast, lunch. We have CEUs actually given out to everyone who participates. It's 7.5 hours. We have two coordinators from HIDA coming, which is a high-intensity drug trafficking area. They work on the marijuana initiative. They're coming and they're speaking. So that's an all-day event. Our next one for parents is we have a underage drinking town hall, and this one will be at the IG Center. And we will have a panel of, we'll have a doctor, we'll have somebody who is in recovery who went through the process and started with underage drinking. He will be speaking. We have the sheriff's office there, and we're going to be just talking to the parents and giving them information on social hosting, social access, teenage brain, and consequences of underage drinking. So that will be November 12th from 7 to 8:30, and that is also free. We'll be raffling off a TV courtesy of Jetson Appliance. So we will be having that event. Then what we also just started is parent series called Coffee and Conversation. And we really want to get out to parents to talk to them about anything that they're concerned about with their children in the community. So we're going to be holding those once a month at Panera at Miracle Mile, the first Thursday of every month at 7 o'clock. So from 7 to 8, parents can come, hopefully bring other parents, and really talk about different topics. So our first one will be about vaping. So we have the Tobacco-Free Partnership prevention specialist. She is coming, talk about vaping. So that will be November 7th from 7 to 8 at Panera. So hopefully you can get the word out about that.
Which Panera? Because there's two of them.
Miracle Mile.
Miracle Mile. Okay,
Miracle Mile. That will be our first one, November 7th. And then with everything going on with vaping, there actually was another death, I think last night that they announced with the
that.
Yeah, it's just an epidemic. So we're going to be holding a vaping forum at the Vero Beach Elks Club. And that's going to be December 4th on a Wednesday night from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. So we'll have Dr. Hummel. He's going to be speaking. We'll have other people speaking on this, but this is a real concern in our community. So the vaping should bring out a lot of people. But those are our events coming up. And if you want to register for any of these events, please go to our website, which is, make sure I have my brochure. So it's www.safirc.org. And you can go on the events page and register for any of our events or get any more information or join our coalition. We are always looking for members, community members, parents, anybody in the community that would like to join us and fight this in the community.
Anybody can help. You don't have to have any type of skill set at all. Reach out for Michelle. She'll find a way to plug you into one of the programs. You mentioned social hosting. Why don't you tell everybody what social hosting is?
Sure. Social hosting is where parents or adults supply alcohol to their child or somebody under the age of 21 in their house. So that is, and those are the, consequences that we're going to speak about is what are the dangers that they are doing to do, to have that in their house. It's, it's illegal and other things that can happen. So
right. It certainly isn't recommended to fund your child's party at your own house. There's plenty of other activities in Indian River County that you can take them to. So we did an event called Hidden in Plain Sight with Safer. Tell us a little bit about that event.
Sure. That was a great event. So we, like Rich said, we had a bedroom set up as an adolescent bedroom set, and we had all spots where you can hide your drugs, alcohol. Rich got some water bottles with like screw-off bottoms. We had a baseball hat. We had
shaving cream.
We had shaving cream, Monster. Right? We had shaving cream. So we had all these different gadgets that you would not normally look for drugs. And it just looks like common everyday items. Yeah.
All of which were readily available on the internet. I had my secretary go on the internet, and I told her what I wanted, and she found every single thing, and then some on there. Had it delivered directly to police headquarters.
Right. And, right. And then we had when we have the marijuana. You found a marijuana poster. It was 710, which is the new marijuana. Instead of 420, it's 710. That's marijuana, the oil upside down. So we had that poster in there to show parents.
Yeah, if you draw 710 and then turn it upside down, it spells out oil, which is what the whole dabbing thing is about with doing drugs. They dab oil.
Right. And then you also spoke about signs and behaviors to look for if you suspect your child is under the influence.
Yeah, and that's what SAFER does. SAFER is awareness. It's awareness training for anybody who might think that they need it. In the real world, I'm the police chief and public safety director of Indian River Shores. And when we partnered with them, it may sound a little unusual that the law enforcement would get partnered with an agency like SAFER because there's no enforcement taking place. We're not looking to arrest anybody. That's because education is key. If we can teach somebody, a parent, on what to look for, and then they can stop their child in their house from doing drugs, it enables us not to arrest somebody and then ruin their life and they walk around with a criminal record for the rest of their lives. That's not what law enforcement is looking for in these days. Years ago when I first started, that's basically all we cared about was making arrests and getting the drugs off the street. There's more important things now than doing that, and that's why we have partnerships with groups like SAFER. It's an outstanding organization. You are part of the Substance Awareness Center
Yes.
Here in Vero Beach, which is a wonderful organization.
Yes.
All right, so going into the break, I just want to introduce our next guest, and her name is Erin Lawler Patterson. The three of us actually are from New Jersey. It's weird how New Jersey's always got that few degrees of separation. Yeah, I came from Point Pleasant originally, and then it turns out that Erin was born in Point Pleasant. Michelle was from Toms River, not that far from Point Pleasant. But Erin is going to talk about her book and some goodness things, because she is the goodness chick on her podcast, and she's going to give that podcast information out, and she will let you know when she can or where you can find that podcast. So we should be going into break right about now.
Hometown News is a group of 15 award-winning community newspapers that serve the communities of eastern Florida, from Volusia County south to Martin County. Their mission is to be the best local news and information provider in the communities. They distribute more than 200,000 copies each week to subscribers, area racks, and other bulk drop locations. Get local information on your friends and neighbors in the Indian River and St. Lucie editions. Stay in the know. Look for your free edition to the Hometown News today.
Are you talking about having your own radio or TV program? Then you should talk to Planet Vero. Here's why we're the best. Your show will be heard on 3 local iHeartMedia stations, plus worldwide on the iHeartMedia network. And you can choose our live stream option, which gives you 6 cameras and professional television studio quality production that's delivered to many social media platforms. Call us for a free, no obligation on-air interview, and we'll show you the power of Planet Vero, radio and TV. That's 772-778-2832. Follow the powerful Rush Limbaugh Show on Planet Vero Radio. Take advantage of the amazing opportunities on social media like Facebook and YouTube with a live stream broadcast. Call 772-778-2832. It's the future of marketing. It's Planet Vero, and it's brought to you by Idea Garden Advertising. Visit planetvero.com. It's time to call Easy Brew Coffee and Bottled Water Service and learn just how much you can save and how convenient it is to have your coffee and bottled water delivered right to your home or office. In addition to water coolers, Easy Brew offers individual bottles of water in 8 or 16-ounce bottles. No more lugging it home or dragging it into the office. Serving the Treasure Coast for over 2 decades, 2 letters, 1 simple name. Easy for Easy Brew. Visit e-zbrew.com or call 800-792-3285. Easy Brew. It's fun to visit Audrey's Feed and Tack, a distinctive country and western emporium. For simply Southern living, you'll find the finest in cowgirl couture. Styles that are uniquely Florida for the whole family. Upstairs in our boot room, you'll find Ariat, Dan Post, Laredo, and 10 Hall boots. The biggest selection this side of the Big Lake. The freshest and finest feed, hay, and supplies for your chickens and horses and most other farm animals. Audrey's, a great adventure. 66th Avenue and Oslo Road. Like us on Facebook.
Thank you for sticking around during the break, if you stuck around. Rich Roselle here with Michelle Bulldozer from SAFER Coalition and Erin Lawler Patterson, who's up next. Erin has a couple things going for her. And again, the whole motif of this talk is drug awareness, drug abuse, and Erin fits right in, not because she's into drug abuse, but because she is against it vehemently, and she's basically dedicated her life. So this is how I found Erin. She made a Facebook post, and I can't even remember where it was, but I saw it, and it was basically, "Hi, I'm Erin. Look, I'm here. I'm from New Jersey, and I was a substance abuse counselor." And she happened to be a substance abuse counselor for the high school where, when I was a New Jersey state trooper, that was in my patrol area, and I was responsible for all the safety and security in that high school. So I got her name, and I messaged her, and she messaged me back. We met at Starbucks. We talked about it, and she basically just said, "I want to do good. This is my home. If you can help me and introduce me to people where I can do good, that'll fulfill my life." And so that's, I knew eventually we would get together. So now she knows Michelle, and now they're talking on the break as to when they're going to be getting together and going to different events and stuff like that. So that's good. It's a good thing to get people like that together. And I told her that it would all work out, because this Vero Beach is a really nice place. This is home for me. I'm so happy I moved down here. I never want to go back to New Jersey again. Everybody down. No, there's no such thing as snow.
Yeah.
No, there's no seasons, no nothing.
Yeah.
But the people down here are just such nice people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And everybody wants to do good. Like, I bump into people all the time. "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
"I'm on my way to the charity event for this." "What are you doing here?" "I just came from a charity event." And our own Jennifer Toby right now is out doing good for somebody, and that's why I'm filling in for her. So why don't you tell us a little bit first about your podcast, because you have a podcast and you've had it for a while.
Yeah, I've had it, I guess, about 2 years, and I started, it's called The Goodness Chick. It's on iTunes, Spreaker, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and really the kind of the platform that I've been going on, as I started initially as a SAC counselor, talking about mental health, talking about addiction, things that pertain to all of us, even though we don't necessarily like to talk about it. It's real life, and about the power of goodness, just like you talked about kindness, and how those interact and overlap when it comes to mental health and substance abuse. And I think the more that we network, the more that we connect together, it's talking about things that I believe make us better people, and that's 2 years with Goodness Chick. And then I actually resigned from my job to do an around the world 9-month trek with my podcast, and my husband and my son. They were with me, talking about mental health and how it connects continents, and talking about how when we go through hard times, when we rise above, the power of kindness and giving back, and how that in itself, it's a natural high. We talk a lot about substances, and how I do believe that connects at times with when we're not in a good place, or we're not attending to our mental health needs. And when one of the focuses being on helping other people, I think is something that we just need to tap into more. It makes the world a more beautiful place. And that's one of the things I've just been really excited about, rooting and getting rooted in Vero.
Yes. And we're here talking about substance abuse, and a lot of it is directed towards adolescents and children. So what you're doing is you're dedicating your life to helping children, and there's no greater cause, because they're the ones that are going to take over for us.
Right, and and what I was sharing at the break, one of my books, my last book is called A Higher Level of Goodness, and my first chapter in it is called Get High. And I know when people first looked at that, they're like, wow, the drug ladies, what is this chapter? But I would ask every student that I've worked with and parents and say, what is your high? What gets you high in life? And too often we're so busy doing life, so busy stretching, and our kids are so, I'll say, run in circles where I don't know what my high is. Well, we got to find your high. What's your passion? Right. Whether it's theater, whether it's surfing, whether it's running, whatever it is, pottery, whatever the heck it is, it's finding a sense of just feeling good about yourself, getting your endorphins running, because when we don't, that's where a lot of our kids are turning to things that are trying to fill that void. And,
Agreed. That first, you said your first book, that people can buy that, right?
They can, yes.
Whereabouts around here?
Vero Book.
Vero Bookstore. We all know where that is.
Vero Beach Bookstore. Okay. Miracle Mile. They carry my book. It's A Higher Level of Goodness. I have a third one coming out in February that's actually called Around the World with the Goodness Chick. And we traveled to 23 countries in 9 months. And it was amazing when you kind of turn on the news, and it's real easy to just be like, things are so heavy and intense and negative. And I believe when we fight for the positivity and fighting for all those people like you're talking about with Jennifer that are doing amazing, good things yourself. I mean, that's what, when we collectively get together, there's strength in numbers. And when we find that light where it's like, yo, you can kick butt and do amazing things and get excited about it, I think it's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Right. Give me that the podcast again.
Goodness Chick, or you can hit me up at goodnesscheck.com.
Yeah, it's worth the listen and it's worth the effort to do it. Now, you talked about strength in numbers. One of the things that I got involved in here was this, it's called a Treasure Coast Opioid Task Force, and it was convened by a bunch of do-gooders. Wasn't convened by cops. It was substance abuse people, counselors, things like that. And when they assembled that they did it the right way. You have people from all walks of life in there. People who own rehabs, people who own sober living homes, hospitals. They invited law enforcement and fire rescue to the table, which is important. You have to have us to that. So one of the reasons that I became so heavily involved in this is because of New Jersey, where I come from and where you come from. And you'll know what I'm talking about, but the other people won't, is that the substance abuse problem with opioids in New Jersey is beyond critical mass up there. You have areas where children have made suicide pacts to jump in front of moving trains and commit suicide. Rather than continue to live with the demons that the drugs bring them. They're trying to get off drugs. They didn't ask to be addicted. They did something that they shouldn't have done. They tried drugs. Maybe they had an operation, it got them torqued up on pills and they can't get off. And they'd rather end their life than go through life as a drug addict. I don't want that happening down here. I don't want to see any of that stuff. I know some of the kids that jumped in front of the trains, and I don't want that down here. But this Treasure Coast Opioid Task Force is an ensemble cast of people that are, and now you two are, I think you've been to some meetings, right, Michelle? And you're going to be going.
I'll be there.
Yeah. Next one, I think you said you can't make, but we'll get you down there to one. This is how we're going to stop that tidal wave from hitting Indian River County. Are there opioids in Indian River County? Yeah, of course there are. But it's not a critical mass like it is in other places. And it's people like us that are going to get together and assemble a giant transformer, if you will, and push those opioids out of Indian River County. So I thank both of you for your effort. You have anything else you need to add about SAFER? It's a great organization.
Oh, thank you.
And people just come out and help SAFER with anything that you possibly
can. And we're always in the community doing something, whether it's training. We train servers and bartenders on responsible beverage server training. We try to change policy and so doing some good out in the community.
Right, so you're educating so that we don't have to go out and arrest people, which is what it's all about. It's another thing with this opioid task force. We got heavily involved in it because in law enforcement, we can educate the public. And the public, including the drug-using public, but mostly the parents and the teachers around, so we can get to those kids and get them the help, get them into rehab, get them into a hospital if they need. Okay, so let's go with you one last time. Your podcast is
Goodness Chick.
The Goodness Chick, and goodnesscheck.com.
Yep, I'm all things Goodness Chick on social media.
Okay, all things Goodness Chick. That makes it even easier to remember. And your book,
A Higher Level of Goodness.
A High Level of Goodness is available now at the Vero Beach Bookstore.
Miracle
and you got
Mile.
another one on right off of Miracle Mile. And we're coming up on February for your next book, which is
Around the World.
Follows your exploits around the world.
With the Goodness Chick.
Okay, good.
And SAFER again, website is safer, SAFIRC.org.
Substance Abuse Free Indian River Coalition.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. I got that right. All right. So we're gearing down. Thank you so much for visiting us here. And we miss Jennifer Toby, but as I said, Jennifer is out doing good for somebody else. So while she's out doing good for somebody else, we fill in for her, and we're doing good for that same person that she's helping.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day out there out in TV land.